MTG Requiem, we're here, back here with match 4 from our Abzan Shadow, or Shadow Abzan League. I think we're okay with this hand. Having the 2 extra redraws on top of being on the draw makes me okay with this. So we don't really have any threats, but we have lots of interaction that will help whether they're aggressive or combo. So keep this. So this makes me think we've got a merfolk opponent. Merfolk, I'm going to be a little slower. Okay, so it's not Merfolk. So this is a Tron. Mono blue Tron. Condescend, counter target spell unless the opponent pays X. Mana leak. Remand, repeal. I suppose we're going to start with remand because we don't want to allow them to draw too much. We're okay with them countering our next spell. We just don't want them to draw here, so we're just going to take remand. He's got a Mindslaver incoming. So not really a particularly great draw for our opponent so far. I think we're just okay to crack at, get another draw. He's got a tower incoming. Don't know how many Wormcoil engines he runs, but it is a problematic card. So here we're going to try and go after the counter spells. It's going to scry 2. And we're going to get rid of the mana leak because, again, we want to be able to resolve Liliana here. Put one card on top, one card on the bottom. One can only assume the card that he put on the bottom was the Mindslaver. Oh no, he already drew the Mindslaver, he had the tower. My bad, my fault. And then we'll get rid of the mana leak here, and then we're just going to kind of hope we can beat him to the Wormcoil here with Liliana. So far, nothing we've really seen that concerns us from a creature standpoint. Obviously, Fatal Push is not going to be able to handle a Wormcoil engine anyway. Alright, so he will be able to repeal the Liliana now. So he pitched the Worm Coil Engine, which means he did not draw into whatever it was he was looking for. Land-wise. Another Worm Coil Engine, so we're going to cycle here and try and get another creature. Granted, I could have just played the Forest and the Street Wraith as a creature, which is probably a mistake. So feeling a little silly there on that. A little shy of optimal. Oh yes, get rid of Ugin. Bye-bye. Really just need to draw a creature now. We should be able to close this thing up. We've gotten rid of many of the concerning creatures, or concerning spells in the deck. He could get a land. Oh, Walking Ballista. That's a little problematic. Definitely have to get rid of that ASAP. Gonna take one to do so. Walking Ballista is an interesting addition to Mono Blue Tron. Definitely feeling a little bummed about not playing the Forest into the Street Wraith on the previous turn. Definitely less than optimal. So he's going to have to repeal whatever he draws, and then we'll just drop another Liliana. And actually get her kind of ahead of curve here. So we actually do need to just jam this before we Liliana, which means if he draws another repeal, we are going to have to discard our own Liliana. I think we probably could have had our opponent down to around 11 or 12, or 11. 9, yeah. 11 or 8 life if we had not killed that Street Wraith, or pitched that Street Wraith. When we could have done the Forest Street Wraith play. But we'll just kind of move beyond that at this point. Thirst, he's going to draw 3, discard 2 unless he discards an artifact. Did not discard an artifact. Did hit his Tron land, however. So he does got some mana going on. Hopefully we get one more turn here to break that land up with Liliana. definitely going to go Shadow on top. And with Shadow and Street Wraith, I think we definitely are just going to probably ultimate Liliana here. Suppose we do want to make him discard. Let's see what he does if we go with the Grim Flayer attacks first. No removal spell. Definitely prefer Tarmogoyf there. So it looks like he drew into another counter spell, blowing up his island to go get an island so that he can counter this with Mana Leak, maybe another Remand. Oh, he's got the one where you have to pay X mana Condescend. It's fine, not necessary. See what he does with his Scries here. Puts a card on the bottom. If he goes another card on the bottom, I think we just go uptick one more time here. And then plan to destroy Liliana. Not destroy Liliana, but ultimate Liliana the next turn. And then we'll just move to combat so that he loses his mana. And then after combat we will... Oops! Well, first of all, we're just going to accidentally skip past combat, and then we'll jam our Tarmogoyf if that was an accident. Looks like maybe another Condescend, just to scry 2 here. That's frustrating. So we should have actually had our opponent dead on the next swing if he can't find an answer. And he put both cards on the bottom, which means there's a good chance, but now we're actually looking at potentially two turns, which is frustrating. A couple mistakes in this game for sure. I don't know that he has any way to really get out of this now. Alright, so we did get the win there. Definitely had some mistakes. Be on the draw for the sideboarded game. Fulminator Mage could be alright here. The Heal Spellbombs actually could be decent. Fatal Push is fairly weak. He does have a couple creatures that he uses to go get artifacts. I think really what we're looking is definitely Stony Silence. It's possible we want Scavenging Ooze. Liliana the Last Hope could be good. I don't know if she's better than Liliana of the Veil, however. It's just a win condition. I don't think we actually need her there. Ranger of Eos is a possibility. I think Scavenging Ooze is good. Definitely Path over the Fatal Pushes. I think it might be worth leaving like one Fatal Push in, possibly. And we did see the Walking Ballistas. Fulminator Mage could be okay just to break up his creature or his land lock. Not necessarily great, but potentially good. We want to cut a Bauble if we're going to bring in the Stony Silences, and the only reason I'm really not going to bring the Heal Spell Bombs in is for the same reason of bringing the Stony Silence in. Don't believe there's a ton that we really want Abrupt Decay for. We probably place some relics. I'm trying to think through. There's some creatures we might be able to kill with it, but I think we're kind of just counting on our creatures being big enough to kind of rule the day. Don't know that Ranger of Eos is necessarily where we want to be either. I think we're going to cut 2 Abrupt Decay here and roll with this. The big card we really don't want our opponent to have is Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. He is very, very problematic. So, unfortunately, no hand disruption, which is difficult, especially on the draw. But we do have enough threats that we can try and pressure through, so I think we actually keep this. We can, worst case, turn one into... If we don't draw another land, we can Overgrown Tomb, traverse the Uvenwald. So we got a couple redraws here, so we're just going to start with those, I think. Anything really? No, nothing really we want to do still. We could traverse for another land, but I don't think it's necessary. Just blue mana so far. Looking at probably something like Repeal turn 1, so I think we're just going to jam an Overgrown Tomb, Thoughtseize. Hopefully we can take a counterspell away and then slam a Traverse in there. What's Reality Shift? So I'm actually good with him keeping that. That's still just, it's a tempo play. He will exile the creature, but we get the top card of our library. So I think we just take the Condescend. The Mindslavers don't do him a whole lot of good right now. And this allows us to get at least one creature down next turn. And who knows, he always could potentially Reality Shift a Tarmogoyf for a Death Shadow. Did hit his third land. We do have almost perfect information on what he has still. The only question really here is, do we want to run out the Tarmogoyf or the Grim Flare? The Grim Flare is going to let us filter our draws, which is really powerful. I think we want to just... But the Tarmogoyf is also going to close in 4 turns, where the Flare would close over 5 turns. I guess the Tarmogoyf gets reality shifted. The Grim Flare is going to take 5 turns anyway. I guess that's not true, because then we're starting the Grim Flare late. It's a faster clock if we play the Flare, but the Flare also helps us filter our draws so much better. I think we just go here, and then we're going to traverse, go get a Death Shadow, and that way we can really apply pressure the next turn. The assumption would be our opponent's going to reality shift the Tarmogoyf at combat on our combat step. And he just takes it, which is fine for us. We will... Actually, now we just may want to Thought Seize here. Force him to use the reality shift after he already let the damage resolve. He's going to go for Thirst, actually, so we can actually take the removal right out of his hands if we want to, but he probably has more powerful cards we're looking for. Wormcoil is a problem. Repeal is somewhat problematic. He has a mine and all the pieces of Tron, so Mindslaver could be a problem. And we do actually have access to Path, so he's 2 turns away from Wormcoil. The question is whether or not we can get a white mana source in time, and I'm not confident we can. But Mindslaver will lock us out, right? They need 12 mana, he'd have 7, 10 mana, so he'd get 1 shot with the Mindslaver. I guess he'd have to have the Academy Ruins to loop it. We also could just take the repeal, and then our clock just becomes so fast that he may not be able to deal with it. No, we still need to draw a Path at that point. Of course, if we draw a Path, he could path our own creatures away and knock us out there. This is a tough choice. I think we actually have to take the Wormcoil. It's the one that presents us the biggest chance to lose, I feel like. We could go Death Shadow there, but either of those threats present our opponent a 2-turn clock, and so having access to some card filtering seems a little bit better. Yeah, so this is going to present our opponent with some major problems. We may actually just jam Fulminator Mage here and blow up one of his lands. And Thought Seize is excellent. We can take away Mindslaver. We got a reality shift here. What's going on? Oh, he's just going to counter it. That's fine. Nope. So he's going to cast Mindslaver and activate it. He can't do enough damage to our board with one Mindslaver activation, though, to really be too much of a concern. Especially with all the creatures in hand and the fact that even if he draws access to a white mana source, he's not going to be able to path more than one creature. So our opponent has control of our turn here. Could Thoughtseize ourselves. Obviously he's not going to attack himself. Probably take the Death Shadow, since it benefits the most from the Thoughtseize. He is going to run the Tarmogoyf out, possibly. At this point, maybe he's just wasting the mana. Okay, so probably hoping to hit an Ugin here. Who knows? Maybe he already got lucky enough to draw it. Alright, so we know he has a repeal, and we know he has a reality shift, so he can delay us a little bit here. Can try and minimize the damage a little bit. Probably starts with the repeal. I want a reality shift right now, presumably. Traverse. Yeah, so Cyclonic Rift is a problem, Squelch is not, Chalice of the Void is not. Oh, that's not true. So Chalice of the Void will stop us from being able to cast our creatures. Cyclonic Rift will make us reset the board. So the question is, but if we if we leave the Chalice, he can't squelch us, but that doesn't really matter. I think we just take the what buys him more time? If he Cyclonic Rifts before combat, he's going to do it the next turn. I think we do the Chalice. Cyclonic Rift doesn't inherently beat us. Manifest actually, well, no. It's not going to live through a Ugin. Doesn't really matter which creature we use here, but we're going to fire off the Traverse. No reason to get anything other than a Shadow that I can think of. Protects us from the Chalice if he draws another Chalice. Again, he can Cyclonic Rift us during combat, which he absolutely will do. So we'll get an overloaded Cyclonic Rift here. And then we'll just reapply a flare. And a shadow. And short of him drawing an Ugin, so is he going to squelch his own Ghost Quarter ability? So he's really trying hard to get a counterspell here. Get the Ugin? Wormcoil? Alright, so we need a land. We have Traverse to go get one. He has a negate there, so we're not getting through this turn. But he's not getting through either. Save again in Ugin. This is a heck of a game. And thankfully Liliana will make him discard. So you have to show his stuff beforehand, which means our path will resolve. And that gets us there. Whew! Heck of a game. Alright, so I failed to keep the match status up to date there, but that's a 2-0 in the game, despite really some sloppy play in the first game particularly. Not sure that I really had any misplays that stand out during game 2, but game 1 definitely mistake with the Forest and the Street Wraith, considering how the game was going. So we're 4-0. We'll be back with the 5th and final match shortly.